One of the on to us Friday, so I didn't know one a real year. Ya want to so ya reshe mu abrabo mu nyina Nyankopon ade ho ato ne so. Nipa on susu ya ni adwenboni bebre. Des Nyankopon ko agire se ne begina. E ka osefo ne nko a ka ni magu ase. E ka osefo ne nko a ka ye nyina ye gina pan ya ye gina yi. Des so se memeni asafrade. Maka me hontam se me hyirawo. Tinye ne nipa me ne bebem. Anopa fa gidie ni akokodro epie. Konyuma so kodwom. Mani to tim se nyame na aka ne hontam o. God has sworn by his own name. Say wo obedi ye. Bonipa ensuro nipa. Bonipa ensuro nipa. Yema nyame nke ho ya na montuo mu. Ni adwemu nya fan bibi epese ye bia mu. Mede dia kwasensia asemi de kabre na edo sen. Na on a sad note, mame fa Asem entwem fire kokese nkoma the former Minister of Finance Onmunya Fawcett Thepe, who is currently the economic advisor to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Nano kwesia dai ene nyane tiese ne hokani Mrs. Deborah Ferguson Tepe ada ne benkom so America abrochi memo. So na was Tepe and the entire family yemamu yako yemamu shedding munwie ne nyina nso yenwie bi onya finhye adwiesia miensa 63 years. So Mrs. Deborah Ferguson Tepe yemodi kai the be kan sa samando your maya bobia to amaye obi no obekire bo betu sala kura koye to bi no obekire bo yi nyina mre so ebekọ ni akoye jefie nyame kan busia ho ana no pay ade bi na I click my mind kakra the rate of unemployment in our country, especially uzeka unemployment because the 2021 population and housing census by Ghana Statistical Service. It shows about 38.5% of Ghana's population aged between 15 to 35 years. So there be a maka say any idea Emma investor be about kromu a wohwe na dwuma na oba besin for how long e betimi surviving and a metro graphs about for IMF4 graph plotting be on my year. So between Europe, US, Asia, Africa, the country that is going to suffer childbirth near the ade to a maybe an kanko any mabru ye wom and kwada FFI ye bodachi papa dia to the amomo. So if anything that has to do with youth unemployment or seeing in Afan say a national security threat. Nikwasi aka no tum. Nikwasi ye din e wo ho. Or see a car copim sem penfo to one more to ensure say a see a year na a we period ya maye. Yes, and no credit. Oko man be asua. Your mebru ba kuminim yense bia enya adwuma. But the question is, the rate at which a year mebru ni nya adwuma nya na too much. So it nipa no nya adwuma de na wo ye. Nipa no nya adwuma, it de na wo ye. Trade kura ka se ensa enya adwuma no bon sampo ne pa. Ti akwara so no kwankwa anwiase no tie one nnamfofo spa dame so akwara ne be day na sabio watimi apema konanim da bia meka se ne emma bunu bebrebe na pese o me free Ghana na yese wotena sesese ne ho ahwe abrabo ne ba bia o man ne kankon ekona wo hunu da ache ne ye Many is a brute, I shall was able to be $1 million of a mobra. But one cassa to him say, Ampa, send ye man air corner, that's in ye cacra. But yene. That's why I always continue to ask, what kind of future are we building for the youth? That chimbe ni ejadiama in chima. It's a man here when I hear people talking ill about the 24-hour plus economy initiative by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I think the best thing you will be able to me I say, so only be kawanutum. Shut up. Kawanutum. Your suggestion should be a quiet bit to me for swabwa about the 24-hour plus economy. No, are you successful? If it becomes successful, if it fails, Mama dear Benjamin Freeman. Namin Pemu said 24-hour plus economy no a failure. Dear Vasoba Pana President Hama Ebenya Freeman. So it should be yet for your interest to say. And so she had been able to me a tie a chile by yam. Sir, I dream pa a bumpen for a one, a bit in your dear Maye. Assuming the 24-hour economy is able to employ half of current amount for year, the number of employment I create you a Remember, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Can the president win or power 24-hour economy no entuma? Tip His Excellency John Mahama.
Materials and we import refined finished products. We ship cocoa, gold, timber, and oil abroad, only to repurchase them as chocolates, jewelry, furniture, and fuel at a far greater cost. This model does not serve our people. It has never served our people. It generates foreign jobs. It fuels foreign economies and funds foreign healthcare and education systems. While our youth remain unemployed, our industry stagnates and our import.
Okay. So to what Asem His Excellency Eka Ewa. What say? The more na ye did any me ye raw, say ye gold, say ye timber, say ye diamond, say ye silver, say ye. Ye did echo amano. Ye creating new man the ma amaya would do ye did echo so. So it's time say yakasa better than because the moment what the any addition we become it creates another employment. And we sick and talk ill about it. Why? Is it because of politics? Mama Daily Graphic and a publication. Now this Daily Graphic and another publication of the buyer. Employment measures have not worked at University of Ghana. Also, Matnasi a steady and she say, yeah, a buyer who do abba, and you will come to ensure, say, you be creating employment, yama or may and mabunu. But plans ne shada and yajuma. Plans ne shada and fa. Why? So I can kratana. Was it because and mabruna I didn't form one? Yeah, first I dream policy and more to the person too, and creating employment one more. Yeah, you are my frame. Thinking say ye penny for. So the ever German Bruno. I will continue to ask, what kind of future are we building for the youth? Are we building a future without their consent? And I refuse say baby ababeduno ye huna braboni nyina so we can think for them. Epia na ankwa ye nie emabru ne pe. Epia na ankwa de emabru ne epe. Is what to na so adwen say, oh ye betimi abuild me be e de amomo, ye betimi be e de amomo dabi. Let's involve them. Let's involve them. Kwen betimi afa so involve no me say, ye ni mabru ne enim komo. Ye no mu nim komo. And a baby we are saying pimpe kwano edwuma be na betimi aba ebetimi support emebunu no. We ba ma fe mame we no University of Ghana for conclusion. Okay. So report now a daily graphic at the buy no. This is the report and this is the conclusion and recommendation. The study shows that too many of Ghana's young people, particularly females and themselves without a job, a situation which has been the subject of much intellectual discussion. One critical area of employment which requires an increase in government employment is the public sector, which is severely understaffed, particularly in the sectors such as education and health. These sectors can absorb many youth. Finally, youth employment programs must be audited and evaluated in a transparent manner to ensure sustainability and to determine the extent to which these programs achieve their stated objectives of providing decent jobs for the youth. Where University of Ghana and penny for. It is penny for not nothing yashe. And it's in Maburu Majuani may available. Now, almost kind of Akuba said, so we share a banyum, especially a teacher for any nurse for no, and a health workers no, and your baby to me a father do na koku. Now reduce the unemployment. But see, oh yeah, the sounds one. Then you look at government budget. Already, yes, spending about 60% of your sikayenya on a compensations and salaries. Either say you Ghana ni be kuta juma na say person ho kan na me buafu no. It's not because me direct interest free mu. Aban payroll aye chop. No kre no. Aban payroll aye chop. Ekwan bi anim. The next avenue ni say you be creating an enabling environment. Say na be at the private sector betimi a create enuma e de amama bunu no. Do you know, sir, where my food and agriculture for graph no? That my food and agriculture, okay. So this agricultural growth rate, 2009 and 2024, may rely on 2021. In 2021, the agri sector grew by 8.5%. Let's say, from 2009 to 2024. But do you know, say, a new creative ketwebi. It is sorry. Let Emma Bruno Greek, Emma Bruno Quia, Emma Bruno Quia. What kind of queer and Edima Brunaye? Is this a canny as so a queer ye are? Is this a canny as so queer ye are? They might not be interested. It yes, maybe a make super top them. I'm a queer that me bakama, but the padodo ne queano, Emma Bruno said when the Jones said, or bears that kind of queer na. That is what the University of Ghana pen for air catcher say. Ya pesi a creative akonya de ma emmabruna. Ma yentina dem ni enyi mabruni fem free. Let's involve them. Let's bring them on board. Se bo musu adwenkyere. Ye bi so say, say na mu free see ye na ebeye ye. What kind of youth employment and interventions dey on my way? How successful has it been? Now the current ones that's so running 1 year. Finish them new free. So free ma kwaifa. So after 2 years on 1 year a payroll, we free so kwaifa. You still come back to ground zero. A quiet bit to me for a create sustainable jobs. And the amount for and what's some year kai. And then I say honorable Eugene Boachi entry. Former Subin MP said his praise said his Excellency Jomama will fail. Now MPP to me about power. To me, it's an unfortunate comment. It's unfortunate. I have said this without time and number. Say, any political party that wait for a government to fail and say what to me about power, no, unye serious. Unye serious. Any political party, yeah, we team point in and say, "Abanya otesu enfeli na binya akwanya mrado." Unye serious. Also, Bagana for Chebeka say ampa. Ebi a John Dramani mama ye 24-hour economy. Are you successful? ba me bi kuta san hye wi a e betimi apagye the 24-hour economy akodu san pempen so sei na to asa wo twese mama feli enyo na feli o Ghana nyina na feli so ade a president mama efeli a wantimi anya no wa ban ba obeye ne yesani wanim so wo honom. That is why we have a lot of uncompleted projects. Oh, yeah, you know. I can put it as abandoning failure. If your mama face and you're not failing, you're infantry team and you're Ghana not failing. Ghana and not failing. We can't continue to do this. The unemployment in this country is serious. You two one Monday. And the ya ne de. You need the biaka and the day. If the 24-hour economy bet me a boy, I'm a mobile be bread me and Jumaya, a quaman a bit me for so bena, and pass it to Pono a bit me repay you. And only a drench that yet share say, Ghana and the sherry beba, and yet a drench say, and ye, and never fairly, and then Kosiaga, it is dead on arrival. And my bruni perjumo, and my bruni perjuma. And now a sentiment no routine for say to a biokaye. Was a Ghana for the com ni yaw and a twaba. A yedientia, a jumo be your benyas cadino, a pinio. And my bruni perjuma. That's a fact of the matter. And my bruno a perjuma. Kwe beti mi afa so benya adwuma de ma ema Bruno e no mo hwehwe. And the job should also be sustainable. Enya wa ye de na fi hia mienu na nipa na firi mu. Hwena mo popo ye uroli omo e wa napco. E mo sai e na nya permanent jobs. Tia say ye peti picture say as ye bibi but ye nya hwe. The challenge confronting us as a nation. If 38% of your population age from 15 to 35 years, that's also your by now to that's a enfao. It be work we nyina so. Ye nya de betimi ama ye mabunu no aye engaged. And now so Ghana prison for statistics nam dem no. 85% of about 14,000 inmates in our prisons from age 12 to 35. 85%. 85%. Also, money yam shesheyen. Say about 14,000 prisoners here were memono. Emu ohawche mu edjo wotwe enum. Ene mabuna ede fiase. Wonder cancer, we find a taria poor or to call. So I ask myself, why am I doing much your man? And you want more. If 85% of Mobunu ye, the bracket of 14,000, at me, I could then a fee. Now, some of do an answer in your quanya, a Britain almost air qua. Why won't the back a best is your man? Now, the arrow, yes, one corporation, when you fish your general anima 50 as some Ghana over your day at that age. And for so ben as Sebio, Ghana ben your fruits at that age. Quite bet me for so being near Mabuno or Ghana should be our top priority. Should be our top priority. Senabi on me engaged. Ye engage you more. Eti minyam nwanwa say na no satie another that start them down okọ Ghana nyina ba bi pa mabunu do so na dwafi asantemantam ten was abanso kosi rehab ho no ko ne ekoso asantemantam so no ano ya yeden nyame ka nyina akọ Ghana Prison Service or mo website ni nyina ho no year on year mabunu awdo a ye de omukọ na dwafi emu ma ne mema. Now, some in apa, a mufado do in ya before. A before some pempi come na deba, tia seven you was some cranado one Jim. Yen created Mamma Bruno. Yamma quenya from Mamma Bruno. Yemo munya dachi say ampa oman no enekra na ensi ye a ochine bi beye. They just want to know that the future no is bright. Then they work towards it. But future na ya bleh. Debi am kasi Yankopon na onkan ho. Omo ya kandifo a emfa pesamin kuminya. Ye ha onyina no. Na pani bia so de pesamin kuminya ya ade bia wa ban bia no because of his money ndache. To no ko abe form ne se ya begu ne bottom. Because him say wo free so yi o ma dachi papa bi anim o me akanifo anyamesuro nipa ho do beto akoma so na onyo na se bi o be pri obu ni obusua nko ade o ma yakwabra santia tra so ma boko de
akwasi nyame adom bibia kama
ya bi ase
had now common ye den
me come about youth unemployment.
Oh, okay.
E mabure ni adwuma.
I see.
Mabure ni adwuma.
Nti wo prescription bia dey am nyina say.
Yes, supporting the 24-hour economy. For it to achieve its intended purpose.
How do we support it?
Enim die ni nyansa bi e wo bi e betim dia support adwenkyerɛ pa bi e betim dia support se ne be yi a e betim abam no and is ye hwɛ. It's not about it's dead on arrival.
Aban no my 8 points bia no gina ho na meboa.
Yes.
Do wa kai ye anopai.
Makai nyina ho tina meka sabio nimdie ni nyansa ni ba akofo nko atrim. Ebi obi so te baabi os o da bi aban nya opeso odi kwa bi aka umma ne kakra de fa ha no mu a ke bi aka benya tuba ha ko me nya wan. Tia ka say adwenkyerɛ no.
Okay, so it's not dead on arrival,
no.
But we have to look at the realities of the 24-hour economy. One of the biggest bane, demand and supply. The other bane also, the issue about power, and then the other aspect is also capacity.
Yeah.
So, obiani ho obe underestimate an economy that runs 24 hours. No, you cannot. But the readiness and preparedness, even though as he creating, maybe there are a lot of questions that needs to be. And maybe specifics. Areas in what maybe you be holding a cuckoo baby back.
Okay.
And son ya twaso kakra na fe. Yeah. But government should also give it the needed attention because it was their lead campaign message. 24-hour economy. Until there's a certain impression in the mind of the Ghanaian. Say, I said, Bibia ewo Ghana ne ebe run 24 hours. And almost had 133 every. So I tell you, for instance, I always use Jifanko as an example, baby, and the one. So we are running a huge abattoir by a 0.5. It is our buying, a bit mere boy, I'm not sure. And government has already indicated that a private partnership na also more.
Yeah.
It is a Jifanko. Kwambe na ebe fast a bit na ban ka bom. Na ibi kwa no pa, ibi aba ewia, ibi akwa enyumira po ahimachi. Our demand is there, honestly. In fact, sometimes the demands from these major hotels in the country, we can't. The challenge we have is a namna, these two things. If I'm Kuko until maybe yes, that means a challenge in this country. And Kuko because hotel back could demand and quantity me Emma and Kuko off. So I am wondering how we can really balance the act. We need to push money. Say the usual Exim Bank support media is not a 24-hour economy because clearly a buyer catcher say we a private entity biana so almost so as a go there with your proposal. They will come and supervise and be convinced that they can support you, and then they will give you the push. Where the challenge has always been is the political connections connected to Exim Bank.
Okay.
So I say if you are not really politically aligned there, or penetrating the percentage nana or form. That is where the challenge has always been. Bibia or Ghana Biana Trimponia Pape. Nkukon 24-hour economy. We have frontliners, quiet people who don't even have the capacity. But because they are politically aligned. Okay. So I say, it is like Maslock. The history of Maslock.
And also you good.
Obia wa babia nipa nya ho faso bia na party for we check command century. Don't wanna. So I say, a good initiative government feels that Maslock is there. A barber bow or the Koji car, netri a car, yaje, near Yara Quay. They will call me a party chairman, but make that is the challenge. The 24-hour economy, a buying any deliberate about pushing in more power. When I say power, all what constitutes a 24-hour economy, running on the engine of power, electricity supply, and the cost. So important. Yes, sir. Yeah, the other bedon, but Ebekwaku we actually na Ebianko way na fe acquire problem. But I support it. I feel that when we have the requisite a year in place to push it well, we will make some achievements. And yet the Omabijina hub of 40 Mirikaka, they are ready 25, they will just port to port. Already no one will do an adjustment than option on the account. DVL for the farm or more, a kind of say a third gate or shall be 24-hour economy is Debbie. And no dear, ye pay proper, feasible 24-hour business. I run out and said, this is it. So what I say, because that's it.
That's what I say.
That's the part. Say, Bibiako Kama, and I'm not going to share with you.